The letter that I got attached to this police incident report was anonymous, but as it just states, as a resident of Tucson, I'm calling for immediate investigation and a public explanation from the city of Tucson. This is over the conduct of the chief of staff for City Councilman Paul Cunningham, Mary C. Bolger, Katie Bolger. They're calling for an investigation, inappropriate conduct, abuse of power directed at a city employee. Ordering a police officer. She was cursing at him and said, "You guys are going to be in trouble." Inappropriate conduct, abuse of power directed at a city employee, manhandling council staff. Drunk in public, conduct unbecoming of a representative of the city of Tucson and staff, disrespectful manner and tone to city police officers. All of these issues, the email states, are grounds for immediate removal, perhaps greater consequences, like voting you all out of office if you fail to take this seriously and protect your own. This is the second time in less than a year these similar drinking incidents have occurred within the same office. Public apology from the city council to the Tucson Police Department staff, their families, and citizens from the mayor on behalf of the city council is requested. It is a start, but not sufficient. Respectfully, with deep concerns, a proud member of the Tucson community, an official representative of the law enforcement family. This happened back on the 22nd. An officer almost hit this woman walking the street, and when he went to approach her, things got out of hand. Cursed at him, threatened him.
But, John, she was not caught running a red light on a red light camera.
Oh, that's right.
So she's good to go.
How much grief did you get over
ton.
that?
It was a headline on Sunday's paper, and then it was in the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday paper. And my mom, it went national because the YouTube video was quite the sensation, I might add.
Oh,
and my mom,
video of this.
My mom in Pennsylvania saw it because she was watching MSNBC, and they had my truck go through and she recognized my pickup truck, and she's like, "Oh, that's my son's truck. What is it doing on national television?" And so, I mean, running a red light for me was, tantamount. See, that's why I said I should have been
desecration of a holy icon.
I should have been drunk. I should have had some hookers in my truck with some marijuana smoking, and I would have been fine. And I could have pleaded, that I had family issues and, I was having a rough time in my life, and I was going into therapy and beg for everybody's prayers and support. And I probably wouldn't have gotten the sympathy of the left, unlike other people who go through that and do that. And then the left comes out and says, "Oh, he's got a disease. He needs help and he's seeking help. So we're with him. We're going to work with him through it." See, but if somebody on the right does even the slightest little infraction, again, they're crucified. But somebody on the left can go out there and do what Ms. Bolger did, or what Mr. Cunningham did, or what Mr. Przelsky did, and they get away with it, and they're because they're liberals, and people expect that from liberals, And the other funny thing in that email that we both got was there's a connection here, and it's the Green Party connection.
Yeah, I haven't even got to that yet, but feel free, but go for it.
Which is really funny because whether it's Green Party Dave and his assault charges, or Mary DeCamp, or now it turns out that Katie Bolger was a Green Party candidate back in 2000. And the Green Party people are all about peace and love and, prosperity and all that stuff. But until they come in contact with somebody in authority or in law enforcement, then they go ballistic. And they have the explosive, violent gene that I guess they've suppressed for so long come to the top.
Yeah, we haven't even brought in the civility aspect of this. The woman replied, "Blank you, mother blanker."
Yeah.
Blank you. I mean, just belligerent, was telling him they were... Look, she got within 5 feet of me, threw both her hands towards me with her, number one on both hands extended, and said, "Blank you." Something to the effect of, "You should be ashamed that you almost hit me." She had her fist balled up as if she wanted to fight the police officer. She just needs help. We should have sympathy.
That's right. She's going to go into therapy. She's going to ask for your forgiveness. She goes through this difficult time in her life.
What could have driven Katie Bolger to act in such an insane, inappropriate way? We should really be... This really brings back the whole mental health issue. Maybe, perhaps, we need to get her some serious mental health and quickly.
I think Steve Case should run by her house and take all her guns.
I think you
should call on him to do that.
She should not be allowed to have any weapons.
No, absolutely not.
You're absolutely correct.
Absolutely not.
This is a person who obviously is unstable for reasons beyond her own control.
Just think if she'd had a firearm on her, John.
What drove her to go drinking that night? Why was she walking alone? No woman should be walking alone drunk on the streets on a Friday night. It's very sad that maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. we really need to have sympathy for Katie Bolger, and we need to understand her plight and find out what it is that is troubling her so deeply to send her down such a dark path.
It's tragic. Tragic.
Let's go. Let's talk to Shelly. Good morning, Shelly. Welcome to 104.1 The Truth.
Yeah, we were just listening to you and Frank, and it dawned on us. Why isn't there any video cam from the cop cars?
Well, it's still pretty early, so we don't know if there is. I'm going to assume there is. Although, according to the story, based off of what I'm deducing, it sounds like at one point the car was further, the squad car was past her. But you're right. There should be video. There could be video footage.
Well, there probably is audio. There's probably audio because the police officers, their recorder in the police car, there's a microphone on the police officers while they're being video recorded on the patrol car video. So that may, in all likelihood, be able to be heard. Maybe not be able to see, but you probably can hear what she was saying.
Steve may have an answer here. Good morning, Steve. Welcome to 104.1 The Truth.
From personal experience, I have a theory as to what may have driven her to behave like that.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Jägermeister.
Oh, that'll get you. I wonder if maybe she was mixing it. Maybe it was like some Jägermeister mixed with Red Bull, and it caused her to act in that belligerent way. Maybe we need an outreach program. Maybe an intervention, perhaps. Yep. Actually, we can do an intervention for that whole Paul Cunningham ward office, I think, is necessary at this point in time. Yeah, she learned from the best.
That must be one partying spot, man. You know, you got a city councilman that loves boozing it up and going. I just think they probably have all these wild parties in there. You know, what time does the office close? Like 6 o'clock. They're all sitting there looking at the clock,
just waiting
till 6, and they're like 6:01, lock the door. Woo! And they close the doors, and then the disco ball comes out, and the chilled Jägermeister, dispenser comes out, and the beer keg, and it's just big party up in World War II.
Whooping it up.
War II rocks. Let's get the guys out there. That's what's got. What else could it be?
It ain't no party like a War II party, because a War II party don't stop. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.